Woohoo! And we're live once again on another Tuesday, Halloween. I had some ghosts and stuff and I can't find them, but it's okay because we'll be the ghosts. Well, instead of the trick, we're the treat. How about that? That's a good one. That's a good one. So I have the lovely Louise Brogan on the show today, and we've got an awesome topic. We're talking about YouTube. I'll flip up the banner in a second. And before we get stuck in though, Louise, can you just quickly introduce yourself, tell people who you are and what you do, and then we'll get chatting.
Sure. So I'm Louise Brogan. I'm based in Belfast in Northern Ireland. I run a LinkedIn marketing agency where we help companies who basically want someone else to take LinkedIn off their hands and help them with all the content creation. I also do LinkedIn training, and I have a LinkedIn podcast, and I have a LinkedIn YouTube channel.
Woo. And
right, Gillian, today's a big day because I'm a massive Bruce Springsteen fan. He's just announced his European dates for next year. So there's high excitement in our house.
Ooh, I've seen Bruce Springsteen many moons ago in Toronto, Canada. Fabulous concert. So good luck getting tickets, because that'll be amazing. That'll be amazing.
I think it might be my 10th or 11th time, and you can be assured I will have tickets.
Awesome. So we're talking today about YouTube. So unlocking the potential of LinkedIn and YouTube. And they kind of go together like, I don't know, wine and cheese, peanut butter and jelly, whatever duo you like, Batman and Robin, whatever you want to say. And you have just had some amazing news that you'd like to share. I hope you'd like to share about your YouTube channel. What happened? Drum roll.
I'd like to share. So on Friday night / Saturday morning, I tipped over the 1 million views on my YouTube channel, which just, when I think about it in actual reality, it's quite bonkers that my videos have been watched over 1 million times. Amazeballs.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love it. And so let's backtrack. So first of all, how long, which came first, the chicken or the egg? So YouTube or LinkedIn, YouTube, they kind of go together, but which one did you start with?
Oh, definitely LinkedIn. So I just thought YouTube was somewhere that teenagers went to learn their next tips on Minecraft, or like home improvement guys would have channels about how to unplug your washing machine, and because we actually used it for that sometimes. I never thought that it would be a channel for me, for my business. And shall I just tell you the whole story, how I got started on it, Gillian?
Yes.
Yeah. So during the pandemic, just before the pandemic, I had joined a small peer mastermind here in the UK, and there's 5 of us. And 2 of the guys in that mastermind are YouTube experts, like proper experts. So Tom Martin, who is not on LinkedIn that often, but I tag him on these posts. He used to work for the BBC, and that's how he got into YouTube. And he's written an amazing book called YouTube Optimization. And he was one of the guys in the mastermind. But there's another guy called Luke Sharon who runs a video marketing agency in England. And he was really big on YouTube. So when the pandemic struck, it was so timely. The 5 of us kind of clung to each other like a little life raft of support for each other. We used to have these regular Zoom calls and talk about business and what was happening in business and everything. And the 2 guys would talk about video and they talk about YouTube. And I'd be like, I don't really do YouTube. But of course, I had set up a YouTube channel years ago and fired up a couple of videos about Facebook and forgot I even had a channel. And then one day I got an email to say, you have reached 10,000 views on your YouTube channel. I was like, what? And I went and looked, and I had this Facebook video on how to post on Facebook. Like, that's it. And 10,000 people had watched it, and I had no idea it's even gathering steam. And I went to my mastermind. I said, oh, this is interesting. And they said, you should totally be doing videos about LinkedIn on YouTube. So I thought, well, sure, it's the lockdown now. What else are we going to do? The kids are doing their homeworks in the other room. We're all going a bit stir crazy. We can only leave our house twice a day for a walk down the road. Might as well do something fun and see where it leads. So that's when I started creating videos. So that was around March, April 2020. And I'm a bit like a dog with a bone. I just kept creating videos and putting them up and trying to figure out what would work and what would land with my audience. And I would say it was about a year of consistently doing this. Gillian, it would not have happened for the pandemic and the lockdown, because I just wouldn't have had the time to play around with it, really. And it started to get traction, and I monetized, I think. So you need 1,000 followers and 4,000 watch hours in a 365-day period, which means that people must have watched at least 4,000 hours of your content within that 365-day period. And I tipped over into that, I think, about a year in, maybe a year and a half in. And I thought, oh, this has got legs. Right. Okay. The big game changer for me, though, was not actually the revenue. So I get monthly revenue from YouTube, which is in the hundreds of pounds. It's very nice money. You know, it's dinner out. It's you know, taking the kids out for a day. It's, you know, it's not taking us on holiday or anything like that. But it is a nice little amount of money. But actually, what happened then was I started to get leads from YouTube. So people from big global corporations would connect with me on LinkedIn and say, I found you because I was looking for something on Google and I found your YouTube video. And that was really interesting. So people from large global multinationals that we've all heard of would be connecting with me because they found me through YouTube. And then it started to turn into paying clients. So I recently did a LinkedIn audit of a company with 13 different LinkedIn company pages who found me through YouTube. I have a client we've been working with for 6 months who found me through YouTube. So it has turned the money that they pay me and anyone who doesn't know YouTube, it's not someone says, oh Louise, you're paying for adverts. I'm like, no, they're paying me. The revenue is companies pay to put their adverts in front of my videos. And because my videos are seen as for a professional audience, people pay more money than they would if they were paying to go in front of a Minecraft video, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So my average rate that someone pays to get in front of 1,000 of my clients could be like £30. Whereas if you're someone who's talking about how to go live on YouTube, it would be like maybe $1. So it's a massive difference.
Got it.
So, but it was actually the big leads that I was getting from it. And it just, the more I'm doing it, the more these things are becoming apparent to me. And the more I'm like, thank you so much, Luke and Tom, for leading me down this path.
That's amazing. And it just goes to show you that it's like timing is everything. And we're always just one person and one idea away from like having a major mind shift of how you can do your business. And, you know, I've always loved YouTube. I don't do it enough. I'm not consistent enough, but I've always found that it's like, because YouTube is owned by Google, you know, you go in the Google search results. So it's like, you know, it's the number 2 search engine is YouTube. So people are searching on YouTube, but they're searching on Google and being fed YouTube. So it's kind of like a double bang for the Googling buck. So you're just like,
Well, it's triple because what I've done is, and this is what I recommend to people if they want to start doing YouTube, you create the video for YouTube and put it up on YouTube, which means you're also now getting found on Google if you have the right. Basically, you want your video title to be what someone's looking for when they're on Google. But then I embed the video into a blog on my website. So the traffic to my website rocketed as well, because there was 2 ways I was appearing in the search results. My blogs were appearing because Google was going, oh, this person is not only answering us in text, but answering us in video. And then the videos were embedded into the website. And that was like, you know, so just, it was a no-brainer, honestly, once I figured out what way to actually use it.
Okay. And then how are you then, I guess, repurposing to LinkedIn? So how do you take your YouTube? And are you trying to get people from LinkedIn onto YouTube, or YouTube up to LinkedIn, or a bit two-way traffic, both?
I would say both. And I know that LinkedIn would probably prefer if I uploaded my videos directly onto LinkedIn. And I tend not to do that. I tend to share the YouTube video. And I actually, Gillian, I do that namely on my company page, not on my personal account. So I asked my LinkedIn network basically give me the ideas of what videos to create. And I get a lot of connection requests from people who find me on YouTube now. And then they'll say, oh, and what about this, Louise? And I'll say, oh, brilliant. And so this is another benefit to it. When you work in a space, people will ask you, oh, could we meet for coffee and I could ask you a few questions? Or can I maybe pick your brain about something? And my answer is, go and check out the videos on YouTube, because that is my free give back to people.
Yep.
If someone says, oh, I just need a wee bit of help with setting up my company page, but I can't afford to pay you. No problem. Here's a video on how to do it. So that's another huge benefit to it. All those people who aren't in the place to be able to pay you for what it is that you do, I can say, well, look, here's it all here.
Free training.
Free training. Here. So today, actually, I spoke today to a group of young entrepreneurs in Belfast, who are, instead of doing a year out work placement at their university degree, they're doing a year out to start their entrepreneurial journey, which is so cool.
Wow.
So there's about 20 of them came along to this talk I was at this morning. And I said that to them. I said, that feeds my channel. People say, how do you do such and such? And I say, if I haven't got a video on it, I will create it and put it on the channel, because if you're asking, somebody else is asking too. So it's brilliant. I do my LinkedIn lives. I stream them to both, stream them to LinkedIn first, but they also go onto my channel as well. And I know some YouTubers get a lot from their live streams on YouTube. I don't particularly, and I don't know, maybe that's something else to look at in the future. But for now, I definitely share them both. And that's what we're doing now. This is going live on my YouTube channel.
Exactly. And mine too. So that's kind of the fun thing. It's like we're going to LinkedIn, we're going to YouTube, 2 different YouTube channels. So it's all good. And then it'll be a podcast as well. So it's just amazing how you can get one piece of information or one interview, one talk, and have it be so many different things. Let alone we could even talk about repurposing with short snippets and all sorts of stuff. So let me just backtrack for a second. You said you don't share to your personal profile your YouTubes, but only to your company page. What's the logic behind that?
I think because it's actually how we work with clients. So for me, I can't remember if I told you my analogy about how I view LinkedIn, Gillian, before. But basically, I treat it like an in-person conference. Talking of which, there's one in Birmingham in March 2024, which we are both speaking at. Let's talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
If you treat LinkedIn as if it is an in-person conference, and what I mean by that is your personal profile is prepared and ready to go to the conference. And when you go to the conference, you walking about the conference and talking to people, and maybe you're in the audience right now and you're listening to me and Gillian. Well, there's John Asperian and Craig Allen and Jeff Young. So they are at the conference and they are finding each other at the conference, and they might connect with each other at the conference. So your personal profile to me is going around having conversations and building one-to-one relationships with your network here on LinkedIn. Then your company page, I think it is more of a traditional marketing stall at the conference. So if you and I will be at Uplift Live in March in 2024, and I would imagine John and Gus and Jeremy will have some people there with sponsor booths along the sides. To me, those are the company pages. So if I had a booth at that event, here I am walking around talking to people as the personal profile, all suited and booted, showing up as my best self with my personal profile, making connections, having conversations. And then someone says to me, well, Louise, actually, we'd love to outsource our LinkedIn, or my partner works at a company and they should really be on LinkedIn, but they just don't have the time. how can they find out more about you? And I would say, well, why don't you go over to my booth over here, and Amanda can tell you all about the business over on the traditional marketing piece, which would be the sponsor booth, aka the company page. I hope I didn't lose anybody in that analogy.
Got it. So basically the YouTubes are basically the screen that's playing at the booth, that if people want to get more information, it's like, go watch that little film I have over in the trade booth.
Yes. I want to know, does this company, are they any good at LinkedIn? How do we know? Well, if we go over to their company page or their booth, they are literally showing us that they know what the stuff is that they're telling us they know about. So it's kind of like proof of what you're doing is working.
Love that. That's great. So, yeah. That's great. I love it. I love it. So let's see where we're at. Okay, let's take a couple of questions and then we'll come back and we'll talk some more. So we have Nigel, who's another speaker. So we have like another speaker at Uplift Live. So, and by the way, this you got to come. You guys got to come to Uplift Live. You've got to come. Okay. So Nigel says, saw him in London on his last trip. I'm not sure.
About Bruce.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. So John Asperian, I see 2 Uplift Live speakers. Evening to you both. Yes.
Yay!
And I'm so proud that everybody's here with the right time today, because it's always hard on time change weeks. You're just like, because America hasn't gone yet.
Yes.
TBK is in the house. Hello from Bonnie, Scotland. Hey, Craig, nice to see you. Jeff is here. Can everyone have a huddle on YouTube now? Gillian and you, Louise. So I'm not a handle. I thought he said a huddle.
I am not 100% sure, Jeff. We need to check that. I think you had to get to. Do you have to get to like 100 followers before you get a YouTube channel name? I think.
I thought that used to be the way it was, but then I thought that they kind of said now everybody can have it, and that's when they did the little @ sign, and you had to claim it and stuff. So it's kind of hard to follow YouTube. It's like just when you think you got it, they change. So.
Like everything in life.
like LinkedIn, right? Love this. Hi, folks. YouTube has all the answers. It absolutely does. Yeah, and, you think about it, it's like every time I go to do something, it's like, okay, I want to buy a new microphone. I go to YouTube and I watch and I see reviews and stuff like that. So, you just think, where would we be without YouTube? Like, it's just got everything.
Gillian, can I have a confession moment here, please?
Yes.
I do not learn from watching videos. I can't learn from watching videos. I learn from reading, which is hilarious because I teach through video and podcasting, but that is not how I learn. I learn from literally reading. So, and like reading articles and blogs. And I think that's so funny that how I deliver content is not how I learn.
Right. But, I'm kind of the same of like, I used to be a tech writer in my former life. And so I actually learn best by step-by-step instructions. So it's like the text and the picture, the text and the picture. That's how my brain works.
That's how I like to learn.
But I find that video can be like that extra bit. So it's like, I know when I write like blog articles or even LinkedIn articles, I put all the steps for the people that want to read and scan. I have a picture for the visual learners. And then for the folks that are like, I don't get it, they can watch the video where it will step you through. So I kind of like to combine. So I don't even remember what that is when you combine all of your multi-channel,
I don't know.
multi-channel learner or something like that, but I can't do things auditorily. So even though I have a podcast, I'm not the kind of,
you see, isn't it funny?
Yeah. It's like if I stopped and asked somebody for directions, like I'm trying to go somewhere and they start saying stuff, I'm like, no, draw me a map.
Yeah. So let's do a little segue here. My daddy used to draw us these most elaborate maps. This was back in the 80s and 90s. So I must have learned to drive in like early 1990s. And if you said you were going somewhere, my dad would be like, oh, right, okay, let me draw you a map. I used to get these like really elaborate maps. And then my dad passed away 18 years ago. Bless him. But I would love to know what he would have made of Google Maps. Like, no, don't be doing that. I'll draw you a map.
I love it. And you know what? I still have paper maps. I still have a paper map in my car because I always figure if the zombie apocalypse comes, I need to have a map so I can get across America. You know, I'm always
I have a
prepared.
map on this desk somewhere. I love maps. I did a geography degree though as well. Like I have a thing about maps. I do love maps.
Maps are good. And, you know, if you think about it, it's like, I know we're kind of going way down a crazy road, but, you know, a road map is sometimes how many of us like to do LinkedIn, or we like to learn how to do something. It's like, give me the map so that I can see how everything flows together. So it kind of makes sense. So if you're that kind of person, it's good. It's good. It's good. Okay. So yeah, John says everybody can have a handle now. So yeah, that was something I think before it was like you had to have at least 100 to have that custom URL. And now you can have the handle. So it's yeah. And it's probably one of those things where if anybody is listening today, watching today and says, you know, I might want to do YouTube, go get your handle, like go claim your space on YouTube, because even if you don't want to do anything with it, it's like, you know, how many other Gillian Whitneys, you know, although mine's video easy peasy, but I think I have Gillian Whitney as well too. So it's like, well, it's got one video. Don't go watch it. It's weird. You know, this is like my dog or something. So anyways, okay. So see, Jeff claimed his, so that's good. Get your handle at get your handle at youtube.com handle. So that's good. That's good. I learned from reading too. So we got another reader in the house today. So yes, reading is always, always good. He's still talking about YouTube handles. Sometimes the comments come in differently. Louise, you are an inspiration for the use of YouTube. You really are. So it's really good. It's good. It's good. I love it.
Gillian, I do laugh sometimes. I said at that event today, because those young entrepreneurs, they're all like 19 or 20. And I was kind of going like, do I look like your typical YouTuber? I don't think so.
But, you know, I think to me, that's the beauty of it, is that you can be, you know, like what the person who's the most successful is what, like he's a teenager or a young adult. He's like
Ryan. Is it Ryan, the unboxing child or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was Mr. Beast. I never know who the big names are. But if you think about it, it's like kids can do it. They can't get monetized. I actually know somebody who started their YouTube as a teenager. And then when they turned 18, they got checks. And it was just like, because they had a huge channel. She sews and makes costumes and stuff. And when she turned 18, YouTube contacted her and said, you are ready to be monetized now if you want it. And it was just like, yay, what a great birthday present that was. But you can be anything. And think about I love what you said, Louise, about if somebody asks you something, there's a YouTube for that. There's a YouTube for that. Totally. And go make it. Go make it.
And you know what some of the nicest comments I get, and I get a lot of private messages about my YouTube channel from people, and they say, I really like, Louise, that you're not all over the place and like, you know, and not all handsy. So one of the things that potentially at the start I thought was maybe holding me back was that I just explain things in a really simple way. So other people who talk about LinkedIn on YouTube might have like a flashing screen come in or something, or things pop up, and I don't do that. So you know, there's a lot of like literally clicking through. Okay, let's do this, and let me show you on the screen. And I click through slowly and show everyone how to do it, and I get a lot of compliments on that, because possibly the people who are watching it are, you know, have the same mindset as me. Maybe they're a bit older and slower like me.
You know, whatever works, because I know when I started doing YouTubes, I used Loom. I love Loom, Loom. And it's a screen capture, and you're like a little circle bubble. And I would be the little head in the corner, and I would just be talking people like, click here, click here, click here. And here's my funny little YouTube story. I made a video years and years ago. I just got YouTube to have somewhere to put my Zoom recordings, because my computer ran out of space. So my son said, stick them YouTube, Mom. You can. And I said, I don't want people to see them. And he goes, make them unlisted. So I went,
Yeah.
okay. So that's what I did. Just kept popping these things on. So then I wanted to teach my sister how to use a program called Raindrop.io. And it's a bookmarking app. So I made her a little YouTube, put it up there, but I screwed up and I made this one public. So, you know, I'm carrying on with my life. And then all of a sudden I get a message from YouTube that it's like, your videos had 10,000 views. And I'm like, my goodness.
Right.
And I thought, how many times has my sister watched this video? And so I went and looked, and it was just like, you can see, this is the beauty of YouTube. You can see who watched it in terms of where the people are located. Is it men, women, what ages? And I was just like, people are watching this all over the world. And then when I thought to myself, and I didn't even try to do this. So if you maybe tried to do this, how could you make a difference? So, and believe me, it was just a cruddy little, Janet, just click here, do this, do that. And people liked it. So don't think you have to have, like you said, the panning effects. Like, you don't have to be a YouTuber. You just have to be somebody who wants to explain something and roll the camera. That's it.
You know, and not introduce the video by talking about yourself and all that stuff. So if someone types in, so one of my most recent videos that are starting to get a bit of legs is, how do you change your primary email on LinkedIn? And I just literally start, here's how to change your primary email on LinkedIn. And I go straight into it and show them what to do. And there is no, just let me introduce myself. My name is Louise Brogan and I run a LinkedIn marketing agency. All that stuff. I don't do any of that. Although my friend Karen is like, Louise, how can you have 1 million views and not like have like the biggest funnel set up in the world to capture all of this? I was like, maybe that's something we need to talk about now. We've hit the 1 million views.
Yes.
So, but anyway.
Yeah. And also too, just as a plug, anybody, if you do something on YouTube, you can put it in your featured section as a link. You can put it in your experience section. So now that they took away the profile video, which always makes me sad, this is the way that you can get video onto your profile. So, you know, you can also use Vimeo too. And I like to use Vimeo, but YouTube is a great thing that if you've got some stuff, and I'm thinking Karen Tisdale is one who, she did a fabulous video on her YouTube channel, which is like, when you work with me, and she just walks you through being one of her clients, which I thought was brilliant. And that is a featured video on her profile. So it's amazing.
And even clients have given me video testimonials, and I put those on my channel. And then I actually also, a great place to put the videos is in your experience section as well. Mine are separate through there as well. I think Craig mentioned Mr. Beast. Can I just say, during the pandemic, I spoke at a Vid Summit alongside Mr. Beast. Unfortunately, it was virtual, so I never met him.
Cool. Do you know how he even got that name, Mr. Beast? I don't know.
I have no idea. His real name's Jimmy. I have no idea, but my kids were quite impressed that I spoke at the same conference as Mr. Beast. I think that's when they went, "Oh, this is it. What do you do, Mom, for a living?"
That's right. Would love to have more YouTubers that are over 20. I think there's tons. There are tons.
There's an amazing lady, she's Australian, who does Fab Fit 50 or something. And I actually, before I had my channel, I used to do her yoga, even though I wasn't over 50. And I just really liked her. I liked her way of doing exercises and yoga. So there are buckets of people. You just got to go and find them and go and support all those women who are trying to build YouTube channels.
Absolutely. Okay, Louise, before I want to get your final thoughts in a minute, but we did say we would talk about Uplift Live. So we're both going to be speakers at Uplift Live, which is March 21st, 2024. You're going to be talking about company pages. So now I'm like envisioning your trade show booth.
Yes, my analogy.
I absolutely love that. So you're hopping across the pond. So you'll be flying over from Ireland. I'll be flying over.
It's a puddle. The pond is to America.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. That makes sense. See, Americans, we don't know all this lingo. We have to be told. So I'll be doing the big jump. So you're doing a puddle jumper.
Yes.
That's a flight that's a puddle jumper. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. And then I'll be doing the, I don't know, Concorde jet. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll get a rocket ship. You know, I
get
get
a 10-hour flight.
There we go. There we
Mine'll
go.
be about 40 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. So anyways, we're inviting everybody to please join us and come to this fabulous, fabulous event. Is there anything else you want to say about that?
Well, I'm looking at these names that I recognize, like Craig Allen. I hope you're coming, Craig, from Scotland down to Birmingham. I'm really looking forward to being in a room full of other people who are also going to geek out about how to use LinkedIn in their businesses, as well as meeting the other speakers. I'm really excited about the whole thing. I think what John and Gus and Jeremy are doing is brilliant. And it's really interesting that people have bought tickets, like over 100 people have bought tickets. And I sent out an email today and said, hey guys, have you got your tickets yet? Because I've got a speaker code. And 3 people have gone, yes. Thanks for reminding me, Louise. Yes, I want to get my ticket. So like, it's not unlimited. It's not an unlimited number of tickets. So get your ticket.
And today is the last day. I put out a post too. Today is the last day that if you are on the fence and you're thinking about coming, I have a few speaker codes left.
Yeah.
I'm happy. So if somebody wants to come, send me a DM because you're going to get a screaming deal that goes away today. Yeah. So it's last one. And same for you, Louise, that people need to reach out. Speaker code. There's only, don't tarry.
The other thing is that John is hosting Zoom calls of people who want to connect before the event in the run up to it.
Brilliant.
So the earlier you get your ticket, the more likely you are to get into one of those calls and meet the other people who are going to, which I think is really a great benefit.
And I was on that first one and it was absolutely electric. It was just like, and somebody made a comment. It escapes me who said it, but said, this is the first time I've been onto a big group call where everyone had their camera on. Like everybody was so excited to see each other. It wasn't like, I'm turning off my camera and I'm eating my lunch. Everybody they were so jazzed. They were so excited. So that was great.
That's so cool.
Great. Yes. So, okay. So we've reached the end of our 30 minutes. It always just goes like flash lightning, just. So Louise, LinkedIn, YouTube, what's your final words of wisdom for us?
Okay. So get a strategy together, for both channels. Like, who are you trying to reach? Who do you want to create content for? Like, you've heard me say that I have a lot of people who find me who just want answers to small questions, but I'm starting to really pick up on getting ideal clients. So my next set of videos I'm making are aimed at my ideal clients. So before you create anything, get a bit of paper, or if you're not a paper person, get your iPad or whatever and write down who do I want to reach, what do I want to say, and how can I answer their questions. And the joy of doing this, say you create one video, and this is actually a service we do for our clients. You create a video and it takes you it's a 10-minute video. You can then get the transcript out of that, Gillian, and you can create multiple posts over and over again from that one video. So it's like your core content pillar. And then you put it on YouTube, it's starting to bring you traffic. And people are going from there to check you out on LinkedIn. And it works so nicely together because it is a brilliant platform for B2B business, and which works so well with LinkedIn because that's what LinkedIn is too.
I love that. Love that. That's a great suggestions. So yes, everybody go forth. YouTube en masse, and YouTube and LinkedIn really do go together. And let us know, if you decide to do a YouTube channel, let us know, we'll come check it out. So that'll be good. It'll be good. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. Thank you, Louise, for being here and being such a gracious guest. And I'm so excited that I'll be actually meeting you and hugging you very, very soon.
In person.
Yay. Okay. Well, bye everybody. And we'll see you next time. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.